I have to click on the go live button. Oh, you guys ready?
Oh,
we're actually live.
Wow.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets alike, welcome to the North America Talent League, the podcast of the night. One more step to glory, featuring the entire North America talent. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yo, great.
Yo.
Amazing. Friday, baby.
Go live button.
Sensational.
Sensational? All right,
Take
good.
3.
Okay, are we actually live this time? I think we are, right?
Yes.
I think we are.
Yes.
We are.
Yes.
Okay, are we on track?
Morning, North America. Good night, North America.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sometimes
God
it-
bless.
Of the night. One more sometime it doesn't
Too
show
many
up properly,
times.
so.
Too many times.
Okay, yeah, sometimes it does bug out a little bit. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the discussion of the evening. Yes, we're coming to the last week of the regular season. And then after this weekend, we're going to step into the playoff. So after tomorrow, 4 teams will be eliminated. And then after next weekend, 2 more teams will be eliminated. And we're heading to Las Vegas and then MSC ISF. So it's very, very exciting. With us today on the desk, we have the private dancer. How do I describe you?
Frank Tato.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that is Frank. Oh,
That's
Like
nice.
it.
yeah. Okay, how about everybody just introduce yourself? Let's start from private all the way. Tracks coach, Yikes, Liz, Eunice, Steph, Weezy, and G.
I feel like you just
I think you just did.
Yeah, we're having a good time here.
Hi guys, I'm Trex.
Private dancer.
Okay, good.
Wait,
Good. Okay.
I'll go to Deku.
Yeah, I think right now, except for Liz, everybody is in US, right? Liz is actually 9 a.m. your time?
I'm in Beijing. Yeah, it's 9:11 right now.
Wow.
Ooh.
Jeez.
9:11.
Wow.
The dedication, you know, that's why the podcast is so fun.
Dedicated.
You know, we got our host to wake up early. You get
Oh
to see,
my goodness.
You get to see Liz without makeup.
What do you mean? She never wears makeup.
Without some makeup.
Boom.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
They're putting it on the spot.
You know, I'm hearing complaints that less makeup this time.
You look great, Liz. You look great.
You look amazing.
Yo, anyways, so I just want to say welcome everybody to the broadcast tonight, where we're going to talk about a quick agenda. So let's run down the schedule that we have. As you can see, it is one more step this weekend into the playoff, and the 4 team will be eliminated. And this is the agenda that we have today. So before we get started, anything you guys want to talk about? Just anything on your mind?
Sponsored by that energy drink.
Hopefully. I think they should.
Hopefully.
Red Bull.
They should
Well,
sponsor us, to be honest.
I mean, I recently got inducted into the G the Ico Flex Club, so you know, that's something to talk about. Very excited to finally be brought in. Thank you. Please hold it.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody clapped. What's going on?
The camera looked pretty good. Actually, where is the applause? Let's get some applause going. There you go.
Flaps.
Now you have your applause. Okay. Yeah. But today we're gonna have a quick agenda, which is talking about last heroes. You might know 4 more teams are battling for the last place in the playoff, right? But at this point of the standing, I think Lamy Top can't really make it to playoff no matter what, but they're still going to do their best, you know, to show the spirit, right, of esports. So it's really just competition among the 3 teams. All of them have a chance. So we're going to go through that. And then we're also going to go through the fact that we're going to talk about the playoff analysis, the possible scenarios of what might play out. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Vegas. Excited about that.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the first, maybe in the most important team of the day. Let's start with private. Limey Top. You know, I know this team's not going to make it. That's why, you know, we want to feature them first. So while we're playing through this quick,
How dare you?
They're still he just lost hope already. Well, I mean, it's been one of those teams that you kind of like watching them, and you're really hopeful because they've been growing since when they first came in here. And I watched them. I think I was one of the few ones that was actually able to catch some of their matches from the qualifiers on up. And they've grown a lot as a team. And regardless of where they're sitting here on the top 8, they are still top 8 in North America right now, which speaks huge above a lot of other teams that we have here. Like we said, when you start getting up to here to that tippy top of the mountain, though, I mean, there's just a lot of competition, a lot of things for you to be learning here. And I'm actually really glad because they have been putting in 110% effort. There's been a few matches they haven't been able to make. They've had finals coming in. They've done the right thing, let people know that, hey, sorry, team's not going to be able to make this one. But still, every single time you do see them show up, they give 110%. And I'm really excited for what this holds for them and what the future will hold for Lamy Top.
And by the way, tonight we're not going to go through this very rigid one-by-one kind of discussion. So if you have anything on your mind, if anything you want to talk about, just feel free to talk about it, all right? And then let's obviously be respectful. So when the lady's talking, don't cut her off. But when the guy's talking, you can do whatever the hell you
But I
want.
did cut you off.
Wow.
Liz,
Is that the message we want to put out?
We get the good stuff.
Did Moose not approve this?
Hey, let's quickly talk about some potential clips. So we prepared some highlights from Limey Top because they actually had a really good games in the entire series, like Private was talking about. So this is the first clip. It's Limey Top versus Ohio Brothers, because only against the good teams when you see the potential of these teams. So let's take a look of this one.
Oh, this was Gollum on the Franco.
What's your hook rate?
With your hook rate. Yeah.
I believe that's Steph Wheezy, Castic, and Eunice.
Yep. We were on the dust that day.
Going a little bit of chip damage here.
Heavy spin onto the wall. Gonna get
Honestly, if I think there was like a player that stood out to me on Lemmy Top, it was definitely Golem. I think Golem was like consistently kind of on point through a lot of the
Golem was hooking everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
Golem
absolutely
was.
was.
Oh yeah, Golem was literally hooking everybody. It was crazy.
I think even in like the stats, like that I was doing, Golem was still pretty high inside like the tanks. So even with KDA, if I could have invested into doing a little bit more than KDA, I'm pretty sure like he'd be definitely one of the top tanks.
Trax, I think you were saying something just now.
No, I think like I said, I think Golem is he was probably the whole team definitely has a lot of potential. I think a lot of us called it. We knew at least one or two newer teams were going to slip through the cracks in the qualifiers. And whatever teams those were, which ended up being like Lamy Top, we're going to have a really tough time this season. But by the end of the season, they're probably going to end up being a lot better than the other 96 teams that tried to qualify. So Lamy Top, I think, come into this. Yes, so far they haven't won a single series. But we've also seen a newer team grow from being a mediocre team to essentially a top 8 team. And players like Gollum have really showed off. The Franco, I mean, had me and Eunice talking about the whole night. Several teams, Hale, One Punch, a lot of players on that team, I think, to keep our eyes on in seasons to come.
You know what's interesting? Every time I swap camera, I saw like, cats moving around, people doing their stuff. And then it's so surprising.
Yeah. My
by the
cat's
way,
food and water balls on my desk. So
yeah, I want to give a special introduction to Yikes. I think everybody here is familiar face of the community, but just to welcome our panelists today, Yikes is actually a pro player for OG pro player for Mobile MOBA, and then he is coming to NACT NACT Spring this season to the grand final. Is that correct, Yikes?
Yeah, I'm already planning. I already booked all my stuff, so I'm gonna be there for sure. I'm excited to see everyone. Obviously. As Dave said, I've been playing MOBAs for a while, so I know Hoon, Zane, Basic. I know everybody, so it's gonna be fun. I'm rooting for Zane's team, BTK, to also make it really close in the points. So we'll see how it goes.
Ooh, all right.
I feel like I've played with Yikes before at one point, like sometimes in 5s or trios. Have you played ML before? You have.
Yeah, so recently, obviously, the other mobile I was playing kind of fell off. And so I've been playing a lot of 5-mans, a lot of Mobile Legend games right now. So I'm kind of getting used to it. And, obviously I'm watching the top teams. I'm talking about TOB. I'm talking about BTK. So those games been exciting. Obviously, I've been following it for a little bit, but, I'm keeping the hype. I'm gonna wait until the grand finals. I'm hoping those two teams make it. Obviously, I'm being a little biased because, they're all my friends on those teams. So I think we did play a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe like a while back, some Magic chess probably. Not too sure, but
okay, yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that then. So it's been a long time since I played ML.
So I want to invite Yikes because he's actually a pro player for many different games, many different titles, and is very, very familiar with this genre. And actually, for Mobile Legends, what's your current rank right now?
So I am Mythic Connor 25.
Weak. All right, let's not talk about that. So,
Jeez,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
What is your ranking right now, Dave?
Last time I saw Dave login was 2 weeks ago. I don't know.
I just played this morning. All right. So let's watch the second clip, which is again Limey Top versus TOB. I think they have really strong early games. So let's go ahead and listen in to this clip right here.
Stronger composition. I'm expecting the Ohio brothers to try and close this out early because the later this gets, the more in favor it will be for Limey Top. But
yeah, this is where they're fighting over the turtle.
Over there for some damage. Turtle dropped dangerously low. One punch with the retribution is going to take it just in time. The demonic force Numion blast.
I think this is a full-on win for Limey Top, right? It's like a 3-1 trade.
Oh.
That's very impressive, especially against the Ohio brothers. That's like top of the crop right there. So when you're looking at the 8th seeding and the number 1 seeding, to be able to even claim a round is definitely an achievement right there. And kind of like Trex harped on, when you look at these teams, when you look at the 8th seeding, it's not easy to get there, right? You had to go through so many teams, so many people wanted to get. I competed myself, and I tried to get up there, right? So it's not an easy road. And honestly, those players that we see, the teams that we see in 8th place, it makes you even more excited. When we go into the fall season, to see them continue to compete and continue to learn, right? I mean, we've seen teams like, Echo, they were able to win, the previous M series, and you've seen all these teams kind of prevail, and there's always new room for new champions. So you can't ever count them out. And honestly, it's just a victory to be able to place in top 8. Only 8 teams can claim that for North America. So
true. And this is the last clip,
if you
by
think,
the way. Go ahead, Liz.
If you think about it, facing these teams in rank, if you actually face the Ohio brothers in rank as a 5-man, you might struggle a lot more than what you're seeing on screen. Even you might not even be able to make some exciting plays for an average team. So these 8 teams are definitely all super qualified compared to the region, but it's just there's a lot more than individual skills when it comes to competitions.
I want to quote a legend here.
Go ahead,
hold on real quick. So when we used to host the NASL, shout out to Trex. There's always going to be a team that holds that bottom spot. And you can't look down on them because of that. There's always going to be someone that's at the bottom.
Always a loser.
Always going to be a loser. Correct.
Yo, Trex, I think you casted this game, right? Remember that steal?
It's got me hyped just rewatching it.
Yeah. I think, you and Deku. I think this, you and Deku. So over here, this is where they stole the Lord and then they destroyed Ackerman with it. And obviously we highlight those type of team fights because they're playing against the top of the crop,
Yeah, One Punch playing the tanks a lot, right? And just to be able to, when we talk about, I think right now when people talk about, top junglers and NACT, it's probably, it's going to be best player, Mobazane, and then, in my opinion, probably, Kush, right? Those are, probably top 3 right now. Pogi falls somewhere down below that, Anna as well. But, for a One Punch, a new jungler, the rookie jungler, essentially, to be able to take that Lord right there very cleanly, I think just speaks a lot. Especially those were the weeks that Ackerman was slamming. Those were early weeks or mid weeks when Ackerman was looking very strong. It looked like BTK wasn't going to beat him. It looked like no one was going to be able. It looked like they were going to hold that second slot, and Limey Top was able to get that win off them. Which again, yes, they've only gotten a few wins, but the wins that they have gotten are against teams like Ackerman and things like that. So it's pretty huge. Definitely speaks a lot for them.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it's really impressive seeing these teams actually hold on against the top 3 teams. moving over to Mobile Legends, like I feel like the top player to like like the people like going down the list, I think the skill difference is really high, and seeing like a top 8, top 5 team hold on against like a top 1 team, top 3, and actually get a few kills out here like in the first few minutes, especially, I think is really big. And even playing against these people in rank, like I played against Zane like 2 games, I think, and I ended up on like one of his videos going like 0-18. It's actually insane seeing all these players do so well. So I mean, kudos to everybody playing.
So you were 0-18, not Zane.
Oh yeah, for sure. He was like destroying me with carry, jungle, not even meta.
Okay.
Just
If he made Zane 0-18, he will be in someone else's video.
Oh no.
Probably not Zane's.
Definitely not.
Definitely not Zane's. It's amazing for me because I was, especially having Yikes here, kind of brings back memories. It's a lot of these players have been together for a long time, especially the Ohio brothers, and that's one of the things that I've been kind of harping on is kind of the consistency in North America, and I'm really hoping that we get that from Lamy Top, from a lot of these teams here in the top 8. I know it wasn't like the greatest showing at the top 8, but if Lamy Top kind of continues at it, builds that synergy, I think even G was talking about it. Some of the teams that had some of the worst, I want to say, showings, it was because they were juggling around rosters, because they were kind of having people come in and out. You build that consistency here, and I feel like there's not going to be a lot that can stop a lot of these teams if in the future.
True.
Just to harp on what he's saying too. It's funny when you look at these teams and the differences, right? Because they're all really good teams. If anybody in North America minus the top 8 go against them, it's not going to be like what you see on screen, right? It's going to be a totally different outcome. Even going up against Lamy Top, like they are a really good team. But when it comes to the top 8 teams, there is a big gap, and the gap usually isn't minor details. It's like wave management when you get a Lord. Typically, you see, I mean, we've all casted, right? You've seen, we have NASL casters, MLSA, NACT casters. We've seen so many games where the difference literally lies in the minor details. It lies in wave management, able to get that retribution on a Lord, able to play safe and not too aggressive in the late game because of that respawn timer. And those little things is what separates a team like the Ohio brothers from a team like Lamy Top, right? When it comes to your average team, there's a lot more mistakes made, but when it's to the top 8, even just blinking for a split second and a Lord fight can cost your team the entire game. And that is what makes the difference between all these teams. So when you see a team like the Ohio brother, you rarely ever see them make mistakes, whereas it's hard to be perfect. It really is all the time. And that's just what it takes to be number 1 in North America. So regardless, we know we're in good hands for who goes to Vegas and also who leads the way in the 2 international tournaments. But nonetheless, all great, amazing teams.
Yeah, and then just to save on time here, we also have other teams that we need to go through. This is a little bit of highlight of Empire. Now, now we're finished talking about Lamy Top. We're coming to the 3 contenders for the last spot. And we're going to talk about like the analysis a little bit later. But every single team here that's about to be featured all have a chance to go to the playoff. So let's quickly take a look at some of the highlights that we collected for the Empire. This, again, against the best, right? So this is Empire versus the Ohio brothers.
The Empire doesn't really have a lot. Esme dives, and more will continue.
This is probably been Ben.
From the flank, Ureshi doing a great job. Here comes the Numenon Blast. Does not catch anybody. They're still trying to take down Ureshi, but here comes the rest of the Ohio brothers. You got the kill, but now you're going to pay for it. Demon, what are you doing? Oh, I love this.
Remember? Oh, this is the best.
Dodge and juking. And then Hoon just goes too deep.
Oh, Hoon! What are you doing?
Oh, I'm definitely clipping that one. I got to send it to Hoon.
Oh, he's been hearing about that for the past like 7
Oh yeah, ever since that happened.
that clip has been everywhere.
Yeah.
Alex is
I need the 4K.
Yeah, Alex has always been a very creative jungler too with his picks, and he's not afraid to take the fight. He was what the first jungler to get a maniac in the NACT spring season as well, and that was not against your average team. That was exactly against BTK too. So that's definitely a team you got to watch out for.
Yep, this is Empire versus TOB. Again, look at this. I mean, it's not like they can't win team fights, right? It's just those mistakes that they didn't capitalize on that really punished them.
Yes, exactly. I remember one was with Mikasa when Mikasa was running Phoveus and ulted at the wrong time and burnt that utilities too late in the game, and BTK was able to close it out on them. And if he had not done that, and that's what we say, the minor details definitely matter, especially when it's like 20 minutes in and it's just, you hate to see it. You work so hard, 25, 26-minute game, and a split second can cost you it.
I will say, like, the only time that, you know, the Empire hasn't shined in my eyes is like when Alex wasn't there. When we seen Alex, if I'm not mistaken, go to the gold lane. I was a little confused by that. Like, it seems like the Empire's playing around with a couple of things when I feel like they should be really focusing on end goal, and that's making it to top 4. So Alex needs to be in the jungle spot. And you see when he's in the jungle spot, like, tides can flow.
Oh yeah.
There was a reason why they switched it, right? Why they switched around with the rosters? Was there a reason?
No, it was actually their full 5. I remember Weezy and I talking about this on when we were casting. We said not to change your roster because we saw A77's game last week. They changed their entire roster, so we were just like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And like the first game that they lost, they went 1-2-2 with a marksman, but then the next 2 games when they closed it out, they went 1-3-1 with Alex on jungle. So like we were saying, don't change your lineup. You have an angle, just like G said. Like go for it. Like his cat has an angle to go hide under his desk right now. Just make that goal.
I feel like the hero pool of the players, like they have a limited hero pool in their role, so they would have to switch around too. Well, I'm not very sure about what these players individually play are best at, but it seems like it will only be reasonable if they were like, switching around because some of the players only play certain heroes and then they would need other ones. Yeah.
But
honestly,
I
think Liz is onto something there. Sorry for interrupting you, Eunice. I just broke
rule
number
I mean
1.
like
But I think because they're literally one of the only teams that are still running this. Like when Alex runs in jungle, they run but they run fighter. A lot of teams almost everyone's running 1-3-1. It swaps around throughout the game from 1-2. But the thing is they're running a fighter on each side, right? Or the Alice gold lane and things like that. They're not putting a marksman in the gold lane. Yeah. And I think, whatever. The main point is they're not putting a marksman in the gold lane a lot of times, which they're able to pull it off, but that's like a 1.5 year old meta, right? It's something that nobody's doing. They do make it work sometimes, but when they do run the gold lane, it's when Alex swaps over there, someone else swaps over there. So I think Liz actually might really have it right. I think there might be a lack of hero pool. Someone isn't comfortable on a lot of current marksmen, because I don't think they're like, I don't think they're dumb. Like I think they know what's good. Like that. I think I think they're just not comfortable, and they feel like maybe what they have right now is working. But I think when it comes to playoffs, it could be a problem, right?
And like switching it, it's like it's understandable because like obviously you want the actual person who's comfortable on the hero to play it. But then the thing is, the rotations, the macro just like instantly changes. Yeah. So that's a downfall. Because like for Empire, like we said, like it's 1-3-1, right? That's what they're most known for, and that's like their most highest success rate. Because every single time they ran 1-2-2, except for a couple games, they lost. But every single time they ran 1-3-1, they won. So like even if like if someone else has a better play style on that, whatever hero that they're trying to pull out works, it's great to switch them because obviously they're comfortable in it, but the rotation is going to change, the macro is going to change, the micro is going to change, how they play is going to change, because now you have like a marksman. I think it was Alex playing marksman, that was a jungler, and the jungler playing the actual role, which is marksman. Like you'll see more like passive plays where Alex just barges in because he's too used to playing fighter jungles. Like you can definitely see like the clause between like those two. So
hey, I just want to say this is why Eunice has the best prediction rate so far. Coming to last weekend.
I'm sitting number 1, right?
Hard.
I'm currently sitting number 1, right?
She's sweaty with the prediction.
No, I'm not even sweaty. I just
and then Treads is not trying at all.
No, like literally, I'm just sending in my predictions how I feel like it is, and I'm getting it right. I'm not complaining.
Right. Sorry, Steph Weezy, I think I interrupted you just now.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just agreeing with you, Eunice. It's just a different dynamic. When you switch to a different role, like, synergy's a thing, right? Tank mage synergy, your junglers pathing when they jungle, when they, rotate around their farm, how they hit that retribution, like, and when you switch all of those different dynamics, especially against the top team, like, most teams at the top caliber are not switching. They're staying in that role, and they're perfecting that craft. I understand it does make sense in theory. Hey, you don't know how to play this hero, and we need this hero for this situation, so let's put you here. But that's not an overall good answer when you go up against a top team, especially a top player. Like you go against the Ohio brothers, right? we mentioned this time and time again. They have players on their roster that are number 1 in North America for that role. So when you swap a player to that role to go against them, you want the person that's. It's not all about the hero. Sometimes it's about the knowledge of how the lane works and how you play it. And that's also something that you have to look at. And when you're talking about a 5-man team, it boils down to synergy as well on how you guys rotate together as a unit. And it can definitely affect it in a good way and also in a bad way. So I always think it's best practice to kind of perfect your role and increase your hero pool for the lane that you're running in.
And speaking of that, Area 77 is definitely a team that's shown us some, verified hero pool. So we're large. So let's take a look at some highlights from Area 77 as well. This is Area 77 versus Fallout.
Over there for some damage. Turtle dropped dangerously low.
I'm not gonna lie. Blame me top.
Area 77 when they started. Really, really good team.
Wrong clip.
Wrong clip, Dave.
Wrong clip, Dave.
This is the wrong clip.
W production.
Sometimes,
Nice.
sometimes like the clips are just like, okay, here is Area 77 versus Fallout.
There we go.
This was Jungle Alice, Dave.
Oh my god, this is where Weezy and I were casting. They were crazy. Oh, we were casting this.
Again, they're a team like we mentioned that swaps roles as well. And I think that's where their downfall was, because honestly, they're a really good team as well. That's that double. That was like backdoors all day that day too.
Yep.
The backdoors to the backdoors.
And I think Lapu ended the game here, right?
On this one.
Yeah,
I
ended the game.
I think every single time.
Yeah, there he goes.
I think every single time Weezy and I casted, there's always a backdoor. When we casted TOB versus, I don't know who it was, Shark ended with Fanny, and then they tried to end, but Lapu ended.
But this series was multiple backdoors. Like,
this series was back and forth. Just one. It was so back and forth.
It was
like
multiple backdoor plays.
Literally, you'll see Guaps on like. You'll see Guaps on Marksman literally try to push, and then in a couple minutes, it's like flipped, and now it's A77 pushing. Like it was crazy. Like that game was crazy. Hard for Weezy to keep up.
Yeah, I definitely Area 77 top caliber team, but they just got to stop swapping their roles too much. I think they need to just stay with what they're comfortable with and stop rotating around so much with their players in different positions. And I think they could dominate a lot more. I mean, we seen them go. When we casted on round 10.
Round 10.
We saw them go up against the Ohio brothers, right? And they were putting up a pretty good fight. They still didn't take a round off, but you could just tell like they had the grit, they had the potential. They just fell slightly short. And honestly, that was probably one of the best games I've seen them play so far, even though they didn't take the victory. And if they can keep that up, play the same role, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Because I feel like if they didn't switch their roles, that they would have had a chance. Like they would have sustained more. In my opinion.
I feel like a big problem for Area 77 is a little bit of confidence and kind of knowledge with where some of the losses come from, because I rarely see them like they started off the season very well to the point that because I didn't really have faith in them because I when they first started out it was kind of a remake of Area 77, didn't have all of the same members, and I was a little concerned about how well that they would do, and they kind of showed me up, especially at the beginning of the season. However, as the losses started stacking up, I felt like they got a little concerned. They didn't really realize what they were doing wrong, so they were starting to experiment, switching people up in the different positions, trying different roles and stuff like that, and to the point where they were losing matches that they really probably shouldn't have, because I really do feel like they are a great team. However, they are a team that I feel like they're an emotional team that when that loss comes, it hits them hard, and it's very hard for them to kind of pick things back up to kind of get exactly.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, it's too late in the game to really experiment like that. I feel like, fall season, I don't think they're going to be as experimental. And I think that's going to be where they're very explosive. Like you mentioned, the early phase, they were dominating. It's the mid game where they fell off after those losses. And they've had a really hard time coming back from that. And I think from that, a lot of people have underestimated just how valuable of a team they are. And, that's unfortunate. But, there's still a chance. They still got to work hard. And they definitely have the potential to be, one of the best. I honestly, when it first started, that was the team I was rocking with. I was Area 77 out.
Are you not?
I know. Private. You were what? Ackerman?
Are you not?
Oh yeah, I'm Ackerman all the way.
That's what. Yeah.
I mean, I think A77 thing.
They were number 2 when they first started.
Go ahead.
But guys, again, we're gonna catch on schedule here. So we're gonna talk about Fallout. Okay, it's time to fall in. You know, this is.
I think their name says it all.
Never giving up.
Hey, I'm still a Fallout fan.
Sheesh.
I might catch some slack for that one, but I'm a Fallout fan, bro.
Okay, this is Fallout versus TOB, by the way. I think who cast this game? Let's listen in.
I think that was me and Ben.
Because there's no
Decent position. Guapsi does show himself a little early there. Melody forced to come out there with some damage. Anna comes in from this one. It's just ridiculous. See that concealed play by Shark as he's inching forward. In comes Anna, puts a little bit of damage on there. This might be a little bit of a bait.
Ooh.
Being able to take out the turtle.
That was nice.
Yeah, 1v4 stealing turtle and walking away safely. What a god.
Ana is so nasty. That was a 3v1 and gets the turtle.
So is this just shows that all this team has a potential. I have another clip prepared for the Fallout. This is versus the Ohio Brothers in round 7. Let's quickly take a look.
Is this where they whiffed?
This is the Fallout winning. Look at this.
Yeah, they win this one.
Waste not, want not. They're trying to finish things here. Galaxy will be the
this
first
is the track.
Still on the
Oh yeah, this was that Kimmy Eve. Yeah, that was a crazy game.
The trouble kill. Nicolay able to find Mello though. Anna trying to lock on the base, but a base.
I think the important thing here is that
Ackerman.
I don't know. I feel like Fallout. Like I don't know. I think Fallout is actually a decent team. I think they're like a good team, right? Even what was it? It was against TOB, right? That they were like.
Yeah.
Literally so
TOB.
close to catching a wind, and then what's his name? It was when they had the Heart Guard in? No, I'm talking about like early season. They ran the who were they up against? Deku. We were casting. Who were they up against when they ran the Heart Guard Ling with I want to say it was TOB, and they flickered in. Natan on Guapsi was on. Natan.
Oh yeah. They were right at the high ground.
And they were at the high ground. Heartguard goes on top of Guapsi, and he cancels it. So Guapsi thinks the Heartguard's about to come on. He flickers under the tower, gets instantly deleted, and all of us are like, "What the hell is going on?"
Because it was they were up. Was it a Faramis? I think Hoon had a Faramis. They got bursted out by someone over the wall. I think they gave him 2 kills right there. They had the win. They had the win there. Or they were close to having the win.
They had
the win,
really
but
close. Again, they threw, and I think that's the problem. They get just like I think what I like about them, honestly, a bit more than like Area 77 stuff is I feel like they take it and then they just kind of throw, and I feel like some of the other teams are still just trying too much. Like Area 77 is trying to be too different. Like we get it. The Xborg jungle, the Roger jungle, the YSS jungle, all that stuff's cool, but the best teams are not using that right now.
That is
the fact of the matter. And at least Fallout is like sticking to it, and it's why I still like Fallout right now. I think they have a good chance to make top 4 if they can pull it together. I think if Fallout plays to their best potential, they get top 4. If they play to their best potential. But they definitely have the hardest games coming up. Like all the other 2 teams have much easier games on the next week. They have to go against BTK and TOB. So I don't know if they're going to make it to number 4 compared to everyone else. But still, I mean, I think they're a team that I think they cut a lot of slack early on in the season for whatever. But I still think like the players on there are good. Guapsi's a good gold laner. Anna's a great jungler.
His Lance.
Uzi's AXP lane is phenomenal. Midnight's had a rough showing in early season, but still a great mage. So I think they're a solid team. Private, you want to say something?
Well, I was about to say that I agree that there's a lot of teams that it feels like there's a little bit of experimental. They'll see something during draft and they'll be like, oh, what do we do? Let's try this. But when it's Fallout, it's very deliberate. They're very deliberate drafts, very deliberate rotations. They are a team who knows what they need to do. It's just that what the later and later a game gets, it feels like they lose grip of that. And they start falling apart. There was that, I believe I don't know if it's the same game where they were so close to taking Ohio Brothers, where they had Anna on Ling, basically stealing turtles, split pushing, And once they got the Lord, they ended up, from what I saw, they ended up just using a lot of abilities before the Lord even got to the base. So they didn't have anything to actually push into the base with. And there was 2 Lords at the end that they basically whiffed until finally Ohio Brothers finally came up with a plan to try to stop the split push and try to force a push in. And this has been something I've seen through a lot of their games, is that they have such a great plan. They're so solid going into it. You're like, oh man, this is going to be it. And then the later it gets, you're like, what's going on? What are you doing, guys? Get it together. And they start falling apart. There needs to be, I think there just needs to be, they just need to kind of, if they kept it in their minds like the entire game, like keep focus. I think that they could be such a great team. Yeah, exactly. They could be such a great team. They already are a great team, but I feel like if they want to succeed, if they want to elevate their level, that's going to have to be something that's on their mind.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I will say one thing about Fallout, like kind of how Private mentioned. I think they're one of the strongest teams when it comes to the early game. Like you very rarely see them make mistakes, and a lot of teams fold under their pressure. We've seen them just dominate, pretty much take every single objective. But like Private said, in the late game, that's where they kind of struggle. And you're like, yo, you did all this work for the past 16 minutes, and you're gonna finish like this. And I think that's the thing they struggle with. If they can just perfect that late game and find a way to close it out. I think they could not even top 4, top 3. But until they figure out those little things, those little mistakes they kind of have in the late game, they're still going to have a little bit of a harder time.
Top 3, who is the team that you're bringing down, though?
I was thinking the same exact thing. If
I would say Ackerman. Ackerman.
Oh, okay.
You think Fallout?
If they perfect
no way.
Deku?
No way.
That's what I say?
I can't vouch for that, bro. There's no way I mean, you're talking about like you put Fallout at their peak potential, go top 3, but we see what happens when Ackerman plays at their top potential, especially like when Kush and Nicolette are in sync and they're not, taking any deaths, bro. They roll teams.
And Deku says they can be top 2.
That's what I didn't say. I mean, they were top 2, so that's not outrageous to say. They fell behind afterwards and they lost to BTK, so they were a top 2 team. So that's not even like a hypothetical situation. They were there. Fallout was not in top 3, and I can't rock with that. I can't rock with that.
All right. That was a great discussion, guys. But sorry to interrupt because we're about to go in to the danger zone. Ooh. That is right. Now it's time for predictions. This is time for y'all to talk about your predictions. Is it A77 Fall or the Empire? Which one is gonna make it to the playoff? So let's take a look at the current standing.
Empire.
I want to point out that you can see Limey Top is negative 16 points from the. It's like the hidden MMR that you can't see, so it's kind of impossible for them to make it, even to win back to back. That's still like put them at -8. Whereas Era 77, Empire, and Fallout, they all have upwards of 8 points to gain. So it's fair game for all 3 of them. Any one of them can make it to playoff. So guys, what we're thinking right now?
Who wants to start?
Empire,
yeah.
Empire 4.
And the reason is what Trax was talking about, right? Because this weekend is the last before the playoffs. And then if they're facing 2 of the strong, like the top 2 teams, that's gonna very likely be losses. While the people competing for that standing, they're gonna face easier teams and might win some games, and that's gonna bring that a little bit above. So that might be the reason why, despite the hero pool and other stuff.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the matches right now. I think it's like a 50-50 to be honest. Yeah,
it is.
Because Fallout's fighting.
Yeah, there's the matches on the screen.
They gotta play the game of their. They gotta play the games of their life.
They're literally at like. They're literally. The next couple rounds or like the matches, it's literally gonna it decides if they go home or if they go to Vegas. It's the matches are so tight. Like look at the numbers. Literally, it was like 10, 11, and like 12. It's like a 1 match difference. So like, I mean, if you aren't putting your full into that one, I don't know what to say. I don't know. But yeah. My top 4: TOB, BTK, Ackerman, Empire. I think that's how it's.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Or yes, ma'am. I guess in this case, I don't know.
I don't think it's impossible for Fallout to get to hold the number 4 spot. Like I do think they could beat BTK. I think it's.
I mean, if you.
And I think hold on. I think Fallout could beat BTK. It's possible. And I think Empire could lose to Ackerman. That's what's happening Saturday, which would keep them in the lead. And if Ackerman takes if Empire takes a 2-0 loss to Ackerman, and Fallout at least just wins one game, or even if they lose 2-0, they still stay ahead. But if they can win one game, they stay ahead, right? And then on round 14, Empire goes against Lamey Top, right? They most likely get a 2-0. That's just the reality of the situation. Fallout has to play the game of their life. We saw them almost beat TOB a game, right? So depending on how they do against BTK, I can tell you this, it's going to come down to the wire possibly. And the possibilities are there depending on how each team plays this last weekend. I don't know. I think Empire, there's a much higher percentage. If I had to give a percentage, it's probably 70% to Empire, 60-55 to Fallout. Area 77 also sitting in the back, but they would have to like 2-0, and then 2-0 BTK and hope that the other teams take losses all around. I think it's not really down to those three. I think it's really down to Fallout Empire here. And I think it's possible for Fallout to steal the spot. I think it's that close. Because just like Fallout's had some rough games, Empire has also had rough games. I think we all just really love Empire because they started as a bottom slot team and have rose to this spot. But numbers don't lie. Fallout, both of them are sitting at about even standings. You know, anything.
Is that your predictions though?
The schedule's like, I think what was it? One of the catches you mentioned there was Empire taking a 0-2 loss to Ackerman, right? But I mean, we talked about that as well.
Ackerman they're gonna beat Ackerman.
No. You said that one of the catches were they get swept by Ackerman, right, on Saturday, tomorrow. But we also, we talked about possible. But again, you brought up numbers, right? Numbers don't lie. Ackerman has dropped a match in basically every single series that they play. They haven't really swept too many teams. They normally toss a match. So if we're gonna go off numbers, there it's
7 last week.
Well, okay, but that's for them. That's rare. They're not sweeping teams left and right. They're dropping the series. They're dropping the ball on one time in most of their series. So Empire has a good chance to avoid the sweep, which kind of counters into you with Fallout. And again, like the schedule's rough. They go Lamey Top next. You know, that's a nice way to finish off. It's a nice way to pad your stats at the end of the regular season. And Fallout, like you said, they got to beat. Or not beat, but they have to like play really good up against BTK in Ohio. And that's a hard order for anybody, especially when your playoffs is on the line.
They actually have to sweep one of them.
But think of the story.
To even be
think
compared.
Of the story.
But think of but Empire, the newest, one of the newer teams, that's a great story.
It is.
Come on now. That's a great story. That's what they were number 7 on pretty much everyone's list coming in a regular season, and they make the playoffs. You gotta love it.
Yeah. I think anything's possible statistically.
So
you're gonna see the Empire.
So I think everybody's like leaning towards Empire just because like the matchups and stuff. Again, this is pretty spicy water here. Nonetheless, this is why we call one more step to glory. The last attempt for all the teams here to make it up. By the way, if you join the playoff, if you get to top 3, there's cash prizes. There's speaking of playoff, why don't we quickly talk about the playoff analysis. I think we are back on schedule.
Yo, Trex and I had I think Trex made it was a really funny storyline that we wanted to see. It would be fun to see a Empire, right? We're talking about if they got into playoffs and then end up, going into lowers. And yeah, they go lowers and then beat, either probably BTK or Ackerman down there. That would be like a top-notch storyline with Empire involved in playoffs.
All right. Okay, so why don't we have our lovely host? Wait, where's the host at? Our host.
Froze. What?
Oh my, would it come back?
I heard that wrong, right?
Yeah.
What?
Nah, you heard that wrong.
I mean, do you guys actually?
Go ahead. Yikes.
I was just gonna ask, do you guys actually think they're gonna be able to beat BTK? Because I don't know, when Zane puts on his serious face, I don't think he's gonna let the opponents
who beat him?
That's
Which team?
The Empire.
Whoever gets in 4th.
Yeah, whoever.
Oh, we did. No, we weren't making that was just a fun. It would be a cool storyline. Okay. We're not saying they're just gonna beat.
Oh, the underdog story. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, it's a great They were put number 7. They were put number 7 regular season.
Yeah.
You go in the playoffs. You go lower. You face BTK Ackerman. If you beat either one, even if you don't go, to final, like that's a great storyline for a new team.
I don't know.
It would be cool. It would be cool to see. Yeah, things can happen.
And it's
possible.
Playoffs. Every team is putting on their serious face. It's best of 5. I mean, of course, the odds are we see the 1 and 2 slot get to grand finals or whatever. But best of 5, teams get on tilt. You lose 1 or 2 in a row. Things can happen. We've seen it all over Mobile Legends. Teams that we never expected to make it to the top make it there. So, it could happen.
I mean, just to credit that. Go ahead, Private. My bad.
Oh no, I was about to say, like, he's Trex is speaking from experience. I mean, especially when it came to the last league, Simpsons. What was it? Team Sexy at one point was dominating. Yeah, it just teams for some reason it can be a completely different game for them. Maybe it's nerves. I don't know what it is, but like it can be a completely different setting when it's the league part of it, the league aspect of it. When you get to the playoffs, for some reason, this is when, like he said, this is when the teams pull out all their stops. They've had some things in their back pocket that they've been waiting for, and they pull it out, and some teams just can't cope with it. We've just seen so many teams that have come in so strong during the league. Somehow they just when it comes to that playoffs, they either lose momentum, or like we said before, like they in the case of Area 77, they take a loss and they just can't climb back out of that hole. It's interesting. It's not always as cut and dry as it is when you get the league points out there.
All right, so now our host is back. Why don't we have our lovely host talk about what's on the stands, or what's at play here for the playoff? So why don't we go ahead and tell us what's at stake here?
Well, first things first, the playoff is going to be a whole fresh start. It's basically a reshuffle. The 4 teams that make it to the playoffs get to have a clean sweep. So, for example, the Empire has been winning a lot of games in the past couple weeks. They've had a rough start, but they're improving a lot. And a lot can change when it's a fresh start for them. And they can, a lot can happen. If they make it to the top 4, they might be able to pull out some plays. But it will feature double elimination. It's more like our usual tournament format. And it will be best out of 5. So the games will be best out of 5s. And then the teams that make it to playoff will get cash prizes and lifetime diamond supply, which is probably true. Like 100,000 diamonds is a lot of diamonds. Yeah, and then the top 2 teams will make it to Las Vegas, give everyone a great show in the great arena for the team that makes it to MSC, and then also to the tournament in Romania. I think it's ISE. Yeah, it's right on the screen. IESF. I was trying to think if it's ISEF or IESF.
All right.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and we actually have show the wrong picture right here. The bracket, the possible what's going to happen in playoff. Just give everybody an idea. So for day 1, which is not this upcoming weekend, but the next weekend, we are going to have double elimination, and then it's going to be Saturday, match A, B, and F, and then Sunday is going to be match C and G, and they're all going to be best of the 5. So this weekend, we're going to determine, we're going to eliminate 4 teams, and next weekend, we're going to eliminate 2 teams, which is quite interesting, because now it's really everything's on the table. It's do or die. You got to just, put everything on the table and just, do your best, put a pedal to the metal. So let's take a look. What do you guys think about the first round? It's going to be, you can see that's star.g, that's our website. And it says it's going to be regular season 1st seed versus 4th seed, and then a 2nd versus 3rd. So 2nd versus 3rd, it's going to be most likely Ackerman and BDK, right? It's going to be the 1st versus the 4th. So Ohio Brothers versus whoever comes up.
Well, I'll definitely say out of both of those matches, I think the most explosive one's going to be Ackerman's game. That's definitely going to be the one I'm kind of going to be watching. I think that's going to be the one that everybody's going to be keeping their eye on, is how Ackerman kind of goes toe-to-toe with them. And then the Empire, they go up against the Ohio Brothers. I feel like, it's the Ohio Brothers. So if they can do it, anything's possible, but it's just statistically, like, numbers don't lie. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
It's the same conversation for everybody.
Yeah. So it's statistically, we all kind of after watching all these rounds, have an expectation of what we expect to see. But if teams practice hard enough, you got to expect the unexpected. So as long as they're practicing, getting ready for it, I think we're in for some good matches in the semifinals.
Protect Nicolette during that match.
Nicolette in person.
Dude, I don't know if it's just that best player and Nicolette had played together for so long, but that last time that they met up.
Oh, the Fanny? Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, they were just all over Nicolette. It was like the perfect storm to take down Nicolette. The rest of the team will fall apart, and it was the perfect person to do it, which is best player, because they have so much experience playing together, and he definitely knows like where she's going, how her rotation. Yeah, so I'm like, and it was so sad because I wanted them to do better, and I know Nicolette is such a great mage player, but man, to see them get shut down so hard, I'm like, man, if they only had protected her a little bit better, maybe they could have come out on top, taking on Ohio brothers and stuff like that. But I want to see how well it does against if it goes with them against BTK here. I like I said, I've been a big fan. I'm a fanboy of Ackerman. I've ever since we saw them in the qualifiers. I think they took out. Who was it? Who was Panda's group? What was Panda's team?
Black Odyssey.
Black Odyssey. Yeah, they took out Black Odyssey in the opening qualifiers to earn their spot in the top 8. And ever since then, I'm just like, man, this is going to be a strong team. And I was really hoping to see how well they could do. They haven't disappointed me. It's just that we're like we're talking about. We're at the tippy top of that mountain, which is like the top 3. And those, especially when it comes to BTK and Ohio brothers, man, they're just on a different level than a lot of these other teams, and there's no room for mistakes, there's no room for errors. Even when you see BTK taking on Ohio brothers, like just the smallest mistake, Zane engages on somebody and the rest of his team is 2 seconds too late to come there and do it together, and the Ohio brothers just crushed them. It's right now, it's like I said, if they can, it's so tight. I forgot if it was Wheezy or whoever was saying it. It's so tight right now with these little mistakes that cost games that I really feel like this could actually be anybody's, especially when it comes to the top 3.
Yeah, and I want to hear from Yikes. What do you think? You can finally talk about your friends.
Yeah,
because we're talking about the top 4. So give us some thoughts.
Oh, there you go. Honestly, I can only talk on like BTK and TOB because I've known those guys for a long time. Obviously, Zane created the BTK roster just recently. I believe I've been watching his streams and everything, so I kind of kept up with the little Mobile Legends drama and like what's going on in the behind the scenes. So yeah, I mean, he's with new players. He's obviously doing a lot. He has to lead the team. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to upset TOB, but it's possible. The Zane factor is always there. You don't know when Zane is going to show up. Obviously, he's consistent, but he could show up and, you could see an upset or whatever. But obviously, that might be the grand final match, so I don't want to really talk about it. We don't want to kill the hype. But yeah, TOB, obviously, great team. I know these guys for a long time. I've played with most of them. I think only Urushi, the top laner, I haven't played, but obviously I heard great things about him. I've heard that he's a good player. He has a lot of flanks. Obviously, that's a big part of the game. The macro comes down, and having someone that's able to always, annoy the backline, kill the backline as a top laner or a solo laner in these mobile games is obviously a huge factor. Being able to assassinate the damage dealers. So I don't know. Favorites, TOB, BTK, obviously. If they can keep up with them, I think it's going to be a close match. I'm excited for it, but honestly, overall, I got to go with TOB for this whole thing.
I got something to say. Plot twist. What? And Deck, I'll shoot this one to you since you're a numbers guy, right? What are the chances that we see Ackerman go up against the Empire in the finals? Go ahead, pull out some numbers.
That was a crazy question. Yeah, I thought
it's possible.
I thought it was going to be a different question. I mean, if you have Ackerman and Empire in finals, that means one of those guys took down Ohio, and like that's very crazy because Empire has struggled against a good majority of the teams, and Ackerman, I mean, they weren't able to find a win on Ohio or BTK recently. So like just
and that
that's
means
insane.
the whole computer system crashed down.
Yeah, like you said, the numbers.
Possibilities. I mean,
okay, possibilities, right? But you said numbers, and I mean, Ohio hasn't lost to anyone. So if we're going off the numbers, Ohio's not. If we do the math, carry the one. It's Ohio's going to the finals, brother. Now
carry the one. I'm done.
Yeah. How much more likely are you to be struck by lightning 4 times? How about that?
Probably pretty high. Probably pretty high.
What if this happened? And
had you proposed like an Ohio and Ackerman finals, I could vibe with that. Because I think Ackerman is close enough to be able to close that gap. And maybe match up with BTK in the playoffs. Obviously, could match up with Empire. I feel like grand finals is kind of solidified. Ohio's going, right? No matter how you look at it. And then I think it's kind of the same way we're looking at regular season. There's 3 teams fighting for that 4th place spot. And I think we got 3 teams fighting for the 2nd place spot to go to grand finals here. So I feel like after Ohio, now you can talk about the hypotheticals of who can go there. I think Ackerman could make the grand finals in that pool of BTK and Empire. But you don't know, brother. It's playoffs. It's anything could happen.
Hey, I'm just saying. Have y'all ever seen Avengers Endgame? Iron Man?
No, never heard of it. What is that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that a play?
I mean, wasn't the matchup between Ackerman and BTK, wasn't it like a 2-0? Like I think it was a week ago actually.
It was 2-0, but it was so tight. It was so tight.
I mean,
the match went long.
I did watch the games and like BTK was struggling. I feel like BTK struggles with the macro. I don't know what's going on with the team. Obviously, they might have MS issues or whatever. That's what I've been hearing, but I don't know. Like, seems like BTK struggles maybe like a little bit early game. They give a few kills away, so it makes the games look close. But I think BTK, if they tighten it up, they put in the time. I mean, obviously, I just added my boy Zane and Hoon recently, and I see them always in the 5-mans. Like I have not been able to play with them for like almost a month now. So, obviously they're putting in the time. I'm not sure if Ackerman is putting in the time. That's why
I mean, one of the Ackerman member was part of BTK, and then that's why I talked about like how the top 3 teams at least all have BTK members before. And when you talk about BTK, you're really talking about Zane because Zane is the focus of BTK, but right now at least because he has so much roster changes, and then
like that.
I mean, it's gonna just be a Zane.
I've known Yato like for a while too, but it's just when the fans are just talking about BTK, whether it's positive or negative, they're really targeting Zane, and it's because he has so much attention from the international community, and he is probably one of the best players.
Yeah.
Even I would say in the world, because he's so committed. He's so committed to that. And then you can see he's very smart too. But when it comes to 5-mans, when it comes to a team, the team part is the important part. You have to build that synergy. And then it took before when BTK was at the top, like unbeatable. They had a 5-man where they practiced for years. Like they practiced for months consistently.
Literal
that same 5-man.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. So it's hard to compare.
Yeah, it's gonna be for sure. Like I know Zane and Zia, I believe, right? The mates from Ackerman. They used to play together, obviously, a lot. So it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good match. I think Zane is gonna take it. Obviously, gotta go with my boy, but it's gonna be a close one. We're gonna have to see which player is gonna be able to lead their team to that win, which is gonna be the 2nd place going to Vegas.
Yeah, he's gonna stir up some.
I know everybody's having this great discussion. I do want to give a shout out to my boy G. Sitting there with his wonderful new merch.
Don't forget the flex. Don't forget the flex. The flex here. The flex. There we go. Yep. The G Flex card. It's a real thing, brother.
Yo, hold
the G Flex. Come on.
Can you send one to Asia?
I need one of those.
The flex man. Yeah, the dude.
Look.
Yeah, how do you get that? Do you get that if you hit the gym?
Yeah, brother. That's like the.
I guess
that's
I'm not
that's the.
invited to the club.
Gee, who do you think is going to flex their
we
way
aren't
to the
invited.
finals?
I don't know. I think it's a 50-50 between Ackerman and BTK, but BTK has just been looking like I don't know if there was like a flick of the switch or what, but I feel like that Joybaj getting on the team, it was a little bit of a, like they didn't know what route they wanted to go, but I feel like they've definitely caught their flow. Ackerman though, they're hungry. I manage BTK, I manage Ackerman in the background for the NACT, so I get to see a lot of the stuff that goes on in their chats. And I will tell you that Ackerman, they're ready. Like, they know that BTK is like the stepping stone that they have to step on to get to the semifinals, and they're ready. They're ready.
I think the stepping stone for a lot of people. I think that'll also prove a lot for BTK's roster as well. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, from the start of the season, just keeping it honest, they looked pretty bad from the start. And like G said, they kind of like flipped the switch. And honestly, I feel like a lot of that had to do with, Zane kind of being that veteran on the team. Like it's really hard not to improve, right? When you have a guy like that that's super experienced, like it was a quick turnaround. So like there's no other way it could have been done unless you have a piece like that on the roster. And I feel like their playoffs is going to say a lot more for the roster as a whole. Like, we know what Zane can do, right? We've seen Zane do what he does in North America for years. He's been at the top. We know in playoffs or when things are on the line, Zane is a great player. You definitely can rely on him. I think this is the moment now where we really get to see those other 4 players and how their progression has been. Because like some of you guys were saying, playoffs is a different ball game, right? There's a lot more on the line. It's not the regular season anymore. You got the cash prize. You got a trip to Vegas, a trip to Cambodia, Romania. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot of pressure now. And I feel like it's going to be a great opportunity for all of those players to really combine for like a great picture on what BTK looks like in the clutch zone.
Speaking of a trip to Vegas, I'm going to go ahead and quickly play this video real quick.
Ooh.
This is...
Ooh. Egypt?
Ooh. Maybe it's my cousin.
Oh, this is where the magic's in.
Whoa.
That looks nice.
Hype.
Oh, we're gonna take so much photos
already.
It's photo time.
Oh wow.
Wait, is this in Egypt?
It's
It
not
looks
Egypt.
like it, right?
Guys,
Like back home. What's going on?
We're hitting the sand dunes.
Back in the
By the way, the arena looks really good inside. Really good inside.
we did it, Dave. You already went.
There are a lot of stuff. I can show you guys a little bit of extra stuff, like in a little bit, but it's really nice inside.
I believe it.
This is back. This is where the player is going to enter the stage. By the way, this is a caster. This is a caster table. This is how you. This is how the cast is going to look like. Yeah.
Wow, look at that setup.
Yeah. So like it's gonna look insane. This will come to our final discussion, which is Vegas. Any plans? Who's going there earlier?
Ooh, I kind of want to. Not sure. I'm going to Vegas. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go earlier.
I'm leaving later though.
I might go early.
I'll show up on Friday. I'll be there Friday.
Friday.
I'll show up early.
Ooh.
I'm pulling up with my friends.
Wait, G, when are you going? You're going early, right?
I'll be there the 11th.
Ooh, Trex time. GT time.
Nice.
GT? Ooh.
GT time.
GT.
Don't be jealous, Deku. Don't be jealous.
Hey, it's on the
I'm not jealous. What? hey, we're all in the same family, brother.
Right?
We're all in the same family, brother. I'm okay. We're all flex masters. Keep it in the brotherhood.
I have another video to show you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling that up as we speak. Okay, watch this. You guys ready? Now this is I just want to show you some sceneries around it, okay? Because there are some scenes I think are really good. And
who is that handsome man?
I don't know. I don't know who is
the
that.
back of that neck.
Indiana
ridiculous.
Who is that? By the way, this is where the players have entered the stage. I do get a chance to check it. This is a caster table. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Oh my God, it's Dave, guys. He's the handsome man.
It was me. It was me. I don't know why it was me there. This is a player where I'm going to be sitting on. I'm just sitting there pretending to be a player because I'm never going to sit there. So sad. But anyways, yeah, stop showing that. Okay, so this is the entrance, right? This is how you're gonna. This is where you're gonna see everything. This is the entrance. All right, I'm gonna quickly skip forward.
I was about to say, as the security hems them up.
Yeah, and this is where the player can enter the stage. This is how it's gonna look like.
I like that.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the alleyway.
That's official.
That is official.
This is Dave's
Last but not the least,
closest appearance.
This is where you see the stage. This is how players see the stage.
Jeez.
And then caster table. Yeah.
Oh man.
And this is the caster's view.
It's the pro scene for everybody.
Yeah, I know. We got a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so just waiting for everybody to go there.
We will surely be there.
Well, I'll say it's definitely a big upgrade from last year. Big upgrade.
I think most of us are. I think Liz is the only one that's not going.
No, Liz has to work.
Well, Liz, you're in China, so you know. I don't think anyone just assumed you were going to be in Vegas. I think everyone.
Yeah, it's
for the
a
most part,
30-hour trip actually. It will be too
long.
Maybe
trip.
next tournament.
More time on the plane than the event.
I know.
Yep, it's hard. It's traveling to Asia. I think I don't know why it's so long now. Before it was like 18 hours to go from like China to US. Now it's like 30.
Yeah. Literally 30.
Global warming.
Oh, many layovers too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I'm not even in the G club.
All right, we can.
Not even the flex
like,
club.
No, Liz, we gotta make something else. Let them have their cards.
On like a
we
tripod.
gotta make something else.
I'll have cards in Vegas, you know. So.
No, Liz, we gotta make something else.
There you go.
Liz, we gotta make something else. Let
We'll
them
make
have
a
it.
Liz booth, and we'll put you on a tripod at a table.
Liz.
It'll be a Liz booth.
Oh yeah.
And people can
Yeah,
come up
one of
and
those,
talk
like,
to you and take pictures with you.
Word.
Hey, it's 2023. We can definitely make that
And
happen.
Yeah.
Hologram Liz at the HyperX Arena.
Liz.
Oh, that would be
Halftime
pretty
show
cool.
Liz.
It might just be like a cardboard cutout, but either way, people will get pictures with you.
Cardboard cutout seems more realistic.
We'll all just cosplay.
No, we gotta have like
All
a
cosplay Liz.
Oh, we can do
Well,
that.
Are you gonna be Brody or am I? Who's gonna be Brody, Wheezy?
I'll let the audience decide. I can call Brody.
If you let them decide, it'll probably be me. I'm not gonna lie, brother. for whatever reason, they took your name and they gave it to me. They gave it to me, man.
I don't know. I think I was Wheezy. I don't.
Bro, I was everybody. There was a point in time when I was Liz on the.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Goodness,
Oh yeah.
that was actual. Yeah, Wheezy was Liz for a second.
Well, today we found out you're G and that I'm Yue, so that's our new identity.
Word.
We don't mention
Word.
those.
I think Wheezy's
what
fine
happened
with
with that?
whatever, as long as it's not me painting his face.
Yep.
So, yeah.
We should do a halftime show. Let me do it to private.
Put Rex and private on the stage, and we just
let me and G paint.
No.
Because I have to send the screenshot, and everyone was like, "What is this? What is this?" Send the screenshot. And I was like,
I'm not gonna lie.
Deku's all of a sudden
Wheezy's-
Yue. Wheezy's all of a sudden a G. And then who was it? Trex? Or no, yeah.
Who doesn't want to be
I
me?
was just Trex.
You were just
That
Trex.
face painting was crazy. I remember when that happened
Word.
live. Everyone in Wheezy's community, boy, we were eating Wheezy up. We were eating Wheezy up.
I think I was
I got
guessing
memes
Wheezy
for
wrong.
years.
I think
got
Private
memes
was
for years.
I think Private was drawing Wheezy as what? Franco? I forgot what Franco.
No.
Belmont. It was.
Oh, you messed it up again.
Franco, he said that
You messed it up again.
All I know is
Barge
I took the
Jungle.
champion on that one.
Yeah. So I
All I'm
was
saying,
not
if you guys
sure.
need Khalid or what is it called, Moskov, I'll pull up.
Got you.
Look at this, baby. Took
Oh,
home a
yeah.
mouse pad, baby.
The mouse.
What's that?
Mouse
Oh.
pad.
Not even using it.
Not even.
Yo, show the merch.
And then I got the Roger figurine, you know. So
Ooh, that's nice.
So we got
Nah.
those two.
Beatrix want to come in, aren't you?
Yeah,
This is how the flex. This is how the flex club started. He started
We
flexing.
got a Mobile Legends
Started
fanny
flexing.
pack. You know?
Ever since G was a young lad, he's been flexing.
He came out with a 6-pack and a strained face.
Oh, we got the
Legends
bucket hat.
golf hat.
We got
Yo,
the bucket hat. You know what it be?
It never ends. He doesn't run out.
You just gotta
don't
get
have any of the
boots on.
stands?
Tatted
I'm
on your
waiting for
neck.
him to show more stuff.
I know I'm trying. Like, look. I mean, we got the 515 suitcase.
Ah,
Where's mine
yeah.
at?
Yes, sir.
You know.
Show them the Attack on Titan.
He's about to show his full
That's
closet.
like in the That's like in the closet. Yeah, like there's like.
I got the rest of G's merch.
he's about to dump out his entire wall. Look at him. Look at him. He's still hunting.
He's got a wall there. He's got a closet.
This time there are a lot more merch. Okay, I know the entire like.
I want one of those Harith plushies.
I know Moontown team really wants to give a lot of stuff to the community. So they show me a list of all the merch they're bringing to the NACT event, offline event. And by the way, it's all exclusive, right? So you have to go to the offline event in order to get them. And then they're all free, which I was surprised because all of like those items, I remember they're bags that you can like, you probably cost like $100 to get them or something. And they're all free, right? They're also like a lot of other really cool stuff, but I think they have very limited amount for like 10 or.
But they're also made in China.
Pieces. Sure, but they're very, very high quality. Why is this so? Okay, so I don't want to.
Yo, does no one see G still looking for merch?
G is still looking for merch.
G was over there just casually, just all through his shell.
Roundtable gets first priority for merch, right? Right, Dave?
Yeah, right. Amen. Amen.
Isn't there? I think there's like a whole carnival there, no? I heard there's a carnival set up and everything.
Little Angela keychain.
And play games.
You know?
Yeah.
They're still
He's not gonna let it go.
going.
Oh,
I tried to
much
buy a championship ring, but no one would sell it to me. So.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's a hoarder.
All right, I think guys, this will wrap it up for us today. Just want to show you it's gonna be a lot of fun in Vegas. So if you haven't made your plan yet, this is the time to plan for the May 14th event. May 14th in HyperX Arena, Las Vegas, where Magic's gonna happen. I think a lot of people are going. The arena is huge. We show you the arena, we'll show you the video, the official video, we'll show you some of the samples from like when I was there looking at it. I was like, oh my god, that was nice. So
whoa.
And they get tickets. I don't know why you're not going.
yeah, I know.
Make sure you show up, okay? Because when we come back, we're not going to talk about it, all right? Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So you got to be there. You're going to miss out.
Yeah, there's not going to be another roundtable like this to talk about what happened there because it ain't going to happen. So
yeah, it's private, baby.
Yeah,
I'll be live there though, so no.
Yeah, we'll have a roundtable in Vegas.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
When we are
G,
not
Mr.
cautious. I don't know.
Information leaker.
It's gonna be quite crazy.
What unit? Are you legal? Are you legal in the States to drink?
Whoa! What are we
talking about it?
Liz.
Hold on.
Let me get my beat ready.
Oh,
That's crazy.
whoa.
Talking about asking questions.
I am a child. I am not legal to drink.
So
there goes all the
100% following the law.
Here they come.
Oh no, like they might be knocked out, but I just know Trex and I are drinking some Capri Sun. So
They're drinking
we're drinking Capri Sun.
I go Red Bulls in Vegas.
Ew.
Yeah.
No.
Red
So he
Bulls.
jitters, so he like vibrates off his chair while we're there.
Let's go.
All that energy.
So all right, guys, this is gonna be like closing statement time. So why don't we start with the center? I'm gonna go with Liz and then Eunice and then G, and I'm gonna circle around all the way to Deku. So let's do that. The little snake. So Liz, why don't you go ahead and tell us like anything you want to say to the fans? Going to the final phase of the tournament of NACT Spring.
Well, so much fun hosting, and thank all of you guys for all your support, whether it's online or whether it's hitting me up on Instagram. I've always enjoyed chatting with the community, and also this whole experience, like just watching these teams grow and be able to be part of the growth is Why is this background music? What is this background music?
Who is it?
Music
Who
today.
is it?
I'm coming back.
It's
I'm coming.
so
I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
Yo, I thought you guys
But
could
yeah.
not hear background music. What the?
Yeah, we can
Oh,
hear
we
your
heard
music
that.
playing.
Is that what this is?
Oh, was that not on
Can I
purpose?
get small violins? Can I get small?
The sad music.
Yo, we're disrupting Liz. Yo, please continue.
Liz, finish.
Don't we have some Vegas music? Yeah, but thank you guys for all the support and just supporting the tournament and then reaching out to me. And yeah, I believe there will be many more to come, and then I will be part of that as well. So hopefully, yeah, see you guys tomorrow or tonight for all of you.
Sheesh. All right, Eunice.
Well, I'm excited to see where everything kind of goes now. We are getting pretty close, so just want to say good luck to all the teams right now that are fighting for their life right now, trying to make sure to secure top 4 at least, or even being in top 8 is great. Casters and all of us are rooting for you guys. We're watching you guys, so I just wanted you guys to perform at your best. I hope you guys make it. Just do your best. Everyone's rooting. So, but I will see all of them, or whoever's going to Vegas, I will catch you guys there. So.
Ooh, already planning.
Eunice
All right.
might be the reason why a lot of fans are going to
Please.
Vegas.
You need security guards.
Oh my.
Word.
We are going to have security guards, by the way, and they're going to search your bag, whether you like it or not. So, G, why don't you go ahead and go to you?
So it's gonna be hype, man. That's all I want to state. Top 4, and then semifinals, Vegas. I'll be there. I'll be vlogging it, going live. I'll be making tons of content. If you guys show up there, I'll bring plenty of flex cards. So definitely come catch me, and you might be able to get a flex card. Who knows? It just depends on how hard you can flex, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. Just catch me there, though. It's gonna be.
You gotta
hyped,
work on that.
and I can't wait to go to Vegas. See you guys there.
All right, Weezy.
Yep. Just to kind of jump in on that, Vegas right around the corner. The stakes are getting higher. You know, the competition's getting stronger. So super excited to see the semifinals and the grand finals, and also everybody that is going out to Vegas. I'll be there as well. So definitely stop by, say hi if you see me. Love to take some pictures, and I'll be live as well alongside Jay. I know we all in Trex and private. Last year we all went together. We did some amazing group sessions playing Mobile Legends and vlogging. So you'll definitely see a lot of content from all of our channels going forward.
Okay, yikes.
Wait, Dave.
I'm like the invisible person.
I guess not
Pinnacle
much.
Ninja.
It's my first day out here, but I'm excited to be part of the community. It's gonna be fun meeting all of you guys, obviously, and everybody that's gonna be there. And yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see my friends, all of you guys, and just be part of Mobile Legends for now.
Ooh, wow. Short and sweet. Okay,
Pleasure to have you.
Thanks.
Big thing for me is Vegas is coming up. I have booked my ticket, so I'm going to be out there. A lot of familiar faces going to be out there. I know we haven't mentioned it here. There's going to be some cosplayers out there as well. I know Xena's going to be out there too. Yeah, so like Steph was saying, a lot of us kind of came together and we went out, we did things, we streamed and everything like that. So looking forward to that as well. It's always an adventure out there in Vegas. So, I mean, this is the big thing is book your tickets now, find out what you need to do to come out to Vegas to kind of catch this live, because there is no experience like it when it comes to Mobile Legends, especially for us here in the growing North America community.
Yes. Luckily, we are going to move to track.
I was trying to pull Liz up. I don't know where she disappeared.
Yeah, I know. We're trying to pull. Yeah, I know. So yeah, tracks.
My turn. Sorry. First of all, yeah, shout out to Xena. I don't know why she wasn't able to make it here, but Miss Purple. It's sad not to have you, but it's been great to have her part of the team. But for me, a year and a half ago, we wanted more esports tournaments, and throughout last year, we started getting them. Last year, we wanted an MPL, something similar to that. This year, we finally have it, and I think last time we did this, for last NACT before M4, I think what I said was I wanted to see a lot more talent. I mean, we have great players, we have great teams, but I want to see a lot of talent step up and get on the desk. I want to see our casters grow and become stronger. And I think right now, you guys aren't actually physically around me, but looking at this, doing this and everything, and having 6 wonderful English desks and everything, it's true, man. It's just so far. Over the past year and a half, there's a lot of things I've wanted to see, and I feel like so far they have been unfolding. We got MSC, we got ISF. It sounds cheesy as hell, but dreams do come true, man. It's been happening.
Okay.
No, seriously, it's
You're literally cheesing right there.
I'm cheesing, but seriously though, man, it's like, I don't know, man. I know Dave. I know like some of the people who have been like doing this for a while, like. This has been a grind for a while, man, for the past like 2-3 years. And like all this stuff is coming together, and it's really awesome to be a part of.
Wow. Deku, try to follow that.
Sorry.
I mean, wow. Way to lay it thick, right? But I mean, just to like add on for like the whole desk thing, I know for myself personally, it's been a great experience, right? Being a caster for everyone. For NACT being a part of the caster gang and whatnot. And, I don't know if you guys will catch me in semifinals, but if you don't, this has been, like I said, an amazing experience. I've had, the ultimate pleasure of casting some of you guys' favorite games, these favorite teams. And I'll, if you don't see me on the desk for semifinals, I'll see you in Vegas for sure with the rest of the great casters here, especially Trex, who wasn't feeling the love, but there it is. And yeah.
Speaking of that, the vote is still on for the semifinal, and then I think the vote is gonna last for another week. So if you are voting for your favorite caster duo, head to the Discord server, and if you have not seen the announcement, NACT Discord server and vote for your caster duo. They need your support for the semifinals, and that will the vote will end this upcoming weekend. After that, we're done. We're gonna collect the votes, and then the duos with the most votes will go cast a playoff. So go cast your votes. You still have like 2 more days, including tonight. So yeah, go cast those votes. Do not be shy. So speaking of that, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. Big shout out to everyone who come into the stream today. Make sure to book your flights, your travel plans for Las Vegas. And this is the entire NA, well, not entire, but the fraction of our awesome NA community here today for the podcast. Big shout out for everyone here. Private Tracks, Deku, Yikes, Liz, Eunice, Steph Weezy, and GDI Kyle, or should I say GDI Iko now? Yeah, make sure to go follow all of them on their social media. All their links are in description. They want to follow Instagram, whatever, is all there. All right, Linktree, I think that's pretty popular now. Use those links in description to follow them. And that's going to be it for us. Have a wonderful rest of your night. See you guys next time. Bye for now.